Narnia is one of the movies you know you've seen, but revisiting it reminds you how much you forgot. Before we get into today's movie, this is part of my 25 days of Christmas movie marathon where I'll be dropping a new review every single day this month. And today's movie is Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And this is a movie that means something completely different when you rewatch it as an adult. Narnia follows 4 siblings, Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy, who are evacuated from London during World War II and sent to live with a professor in the countryside. While exploring the house, Lucy discovers a wardrobe that leads to Narnia, a magical land trapped in an eternal winter by the White Witch. And when Edmund betrays his siblings and sides with the witch, the children must join forces with Aslan, the rightful king of Narnia, to save their brother and free the land from the White Witch's control. And it's pretty funny how he turns on his siblings for some Turkish delights, which is crazy. The witch was like, "Hey, I'll give you these if you help me," and he was like, "Sure, fuck it, let's do it." But it's crazy. He folded under no pressure. But yeah, with the joke aside, the movie doesn't waste time. It sets up the world, it introduces the magic, and then it drops you into Narnia. And what makes it set up work is how grounded the characters feel. These aren't heroes, they're just kids who stumbled into something way bigger than themselves. And watching them grow from frightened children into leaders gives the story a lot of weight. And one thing that really stood out to me on this rewatch is how much emotional depth this movie actually has. As a kid, I was just here for Narnia, you know? I don't really remember watching it or what it was about as a kid, but I knew I watched it, you know what I'm saying? But as an adult and rewatching it, the themes of sacrifice, redemption, and forgiveness just are so much more clearer, and you kind of understand what the movie was actually about instead of it just being a fun fantasy movie. And now I want to talk about some of the things I liked, and one of the main things that Narnia did right was the world building. It's honestly beautiful, just with things like the overall snowy forest, the Mr. Truman's house, the beaver's den. And I haven't read the books, but I've been told this movie captures the magic of the book extremely well. Every detail feels intentional and like lines up with the books. The wardrobe itself is such a simple but effective portal. You walk through and suddenly you're in a completely different world, and the way the movie introduces Narnia through Lucy's eyes makes you feel the same sense of wonder that she does. Oh, and the practical effects deserve some credit too. The Centuras, just all the creatures, and so much of it was done with real costumes and animatronics instead of just CGI, and that gives the world a sense of like, you can just tell it looks authentic and real. Like, it doesn't look like a green screen set. You're watching a real tangible, like you can go there and see it and feel it and just be in it type of movie. And Tilda Swinton as the White Witch kills it. She plays the role with this eerie quietness that makes her feel cold, manipulative, and insanely unpredictable. But also take this with a grain of salt, but I think this might be one of her top 3 performances I've ever personally watched her in. She's not like overly villainous, she's just a calm and calculated villain, and that restraint is part of what makes her such a compelling villain. Oh, and I talked about this earlier, but the way she manipulates Edmund with the Turkish delight is such a subtle but powerful scene. She doesn't force him to betray his family, she just plants the idea and then offers him some sweets, and then, oh, let's fucking do it. This sounds sick. I get snacks. I go with you. I mean, who cares about my siblings? And watching that dynamic play out is funny and uncomfortable in the best way possible. Really quick, I want to talk about the character that makes Narnia, and that's Aslan. Aslan's presence is powerful and symbolic, especially in his arrival with his calm authority, and we can't forget about his sacrifice, because that carried a lot of weight that you only truly appreciate when you're older. And I'm not gonna lie, I never knew Liam Neeson played Aslan until this previous rewatch, and he absolutely kills it. I just had no idea it was him. And Aslan's not loud or aggressive, he's just confident and very wise. So when Aslan speaks, everybody listens, and that quiet power just makes him feel like the king. And now that I talk about the actors, I probably won't get into the kids too much because I like their parts in the movies, but those were just the 2 standouts for me. But one thing I want to talk about also is the soundtrack. The soundtrack, especially during the wardrobe reveal, Aslan's erection, and the final battle, is insane and really adds to the overall moment. Whether that's emotional or action heavy, it works incredibly well. The score knows when to be epic, when to pull back and let the moment breathe. That balance in the soundtrack just makes a lot of the scenes a lot more emotional or a lot more action packed or whatever it needs to be. And I say this in every video, but not everything is perfect. So I want to talk about something that didn't work for me or might not have worked for you. And in this movie, there's not many things to dislike or like critique really, but I can't say the dialogue can be overly expositional. Like, they explain a lot compared to just showing it. There are moments where characters stop to explain the prophecy or the rules of Narnia, and it pulls you out of the experience. The movie is at its best when it's visual and immersive, so the exposition heavy scenes just feel a little clunky, and I personally would rather them just show you it, show the prophecy, instead of saying it over and over. And really quickly, there's some news that I just found out while making this video, and that's Netflix owns all rights to Narnia now, and they are making their own movie. I think it's going to be called Narnia the Magician's Nephew, and who knows if it'll be good. I'm not sure who the cast is at this current time. I just know Netflix is making it, and it's coming out next year on Thanksgiving, so we'll see if they can capture the magic this movie did. Oh, and I know I made a lot of jokes about it earlier, but Edmund's betrayal and redemption arc feels way more meaningful now. Like, jokes aside, you understand why he made the choices he made. He felt overlooked by Peter. He was insecure. He wanted to feel important, and the witch exploited all of that. But what makes his arc so powerful is that he doesn't just get forgiven, he earns it. He fights for his family. He risks his life to destroy the witch's wand, and by the end, you believe that he's actually changed and he won't just turn on his family again. Now I want to talk about the best moment, or what I like to call the golden moment in my videos, and that's Aslan's sacrifice on the stone table. This is the moment of the entire Narnia series. The silence, the chanting, the witch's cruelty, Lucy and Susan's heartbreak, it all hits so much harder now, and the sunrise resurrection scene still gives chills almost 20 years later. And I may be wrong in saying this, but if I'm not wrong, I think this movie is very symbolic to like Jesus's resurrection. Maybe I'm wrong in that, but I just thought I'd add that to see if anybody kind of sees that the same way I do. But back to that moment, and what makes that moment so powerful is how quiet it is. There's no big action sequence at this moment anyway. There's no dramatic music, just Lucy and Susan watching Aslan die, knowing they can't stop it. There's nothing they can do. And I want to talk about why the movie works overall. I might repeat some things here, but let's just kind of like, and this is just to like sum up the video. This movie works because it understands that true strength comes from sacrifice, not being powerful or the best. Edmund's betrayal nearly destroys his family, but Aslan's willingness to die in his place shows that redemption is always possible. The movie teaches that love, forgiveness, and selflessness are what defeat evil in the end, not just swords and big action scenes and big battles. And as an adult, the message resonates a lot more than it did as a kid, just because you can understand it more. The movie overall isn't just about magical land, it's about what it means to grow up, take responsibility, and learn that the hardest choices are often the most important ones you have to make. But I know I did a lot of yapping in this video, but this movie is actually very good. Like, I expected to like not really like it. Like I said, I remember watching it as a kid, but I didn't remember like loving it, but I actually really liked it now. So just, if you want, take my word for it, go check it out. I really enjoyed it, but if you don't, that's all right. I hope you enjoyed the video. And with that being said, thank you for joining me in today's review. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe. I'll be dropping a new video every single day this month for my 25 days of Christmas movie marathon. Tomorrow's review is a big one, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. In the meantime, feel free to check out yesterday's video if you haven't already. And as always, stay curious. Let's keep the conversation going.